Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're here, you probably know we dive deep into real stories of health scares and survival that hit close to home. Today, I'm sharing my own confession, one that still gives me chills. Picture this: you're 35, a new parent, juggling everything life throws at you. You think you're invincible, but one morning you wake up and half your body won't move. That's what happened to me. It wasn't an accident or some random bad luck. It was a stroke, triggered by months of brutal sleep deprivation. You might think, that won't happen to me. I thought the same. But stick around, because this story could save your life. And right off the bat, type "sleep" in the comments if you've ever pushed through on just a few hours of rest. Let's see how many of us are guilty. Let me take you back to where it all started. Before the stroke, my life was filled with chaos and excitement. I had just become a dad. Our little one was only a few months old, and those newborn nights were no joke. Our little one required feedings every 2 hours, and colic kept us up until dawn. On top of that, I worked night shifts at a warehouse, loading trucks from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. I would arrive home, rest for approximately 4 hours if fortunate, and then immediately attend to paternal responsibilities or run errands. Weekends? Forget it. There was always something: bills to pay, house stuff, trying to squeeze in time with my wife. I prided myself on being the guy who could handle it all. Sleep is for the weak, I'd joke with my buddies. But deep down, I was running on fumes. Coffee was my best friend, energy drinks my backup. I figured this was just a phase. New parents survive it, right? Work demands it. Hustle culture glorifies it. Not admirable, not necessary, not sustainable. It didn't hit me overnight. The warning signs crept in slowly, like a storm building on the horizon. At first, it was the headaches, sharp, throbbing ones that I blame on the fluorescent lights at work or the baby's cries. I'd pop an aspirin and keep going. Then came the dizziness. Standing up too fast after a short nap, the room would spin. Just low blood sugar, I'd tell myself, grabbing a snack. My vision got blurry sometimes, especially late at night on the drive home. Mood swings? Oh yeah. I'd snap at my wife over nothing, then feel guilty. Fatigue was constant, like a weight on my chest. But who has time to worry? I brushed it off as normal parent stuff. Everyone's tired, I'd say. You might be nodding along right now, thinking of your own late nights, but what happened next scared me even more. It turned those normal signs into a nightmare. That fateful morning is etched in my memory forever. It was a Tuesday, I think. I'd gotten off shift at 6 a.m., helped with the baby's breakfast, and finally laid down around 8. 4 hours later, my alarm buzzed for the afternoon routine. But when I tried to sit up, something was wrong. My left arm felt heavy, like it was made of lead. I couldn't lift it. Panic set in as I realized my left leg was numb too. No feeling, no movement. My face felt droopy on one side. Words came out slurred when I called for my wife. "Help! Something's wrong," I mumbled. She rushed in, her face pale. The terror in her eyes mirrored mine. Was I dying? Had I hurt myself somehow? As she dialed 911, my mind raced. The baby was crying in the background. I thought of all the things I hadn't done yet. Watch my kid grow up, grow old with my wife. The ambulance ride was a blur of sirens and paramedics asking questions I could barely answer. That's when I realized this wasn't just tiredness. This was serious. We got to the ER and it was chaos. Nurses hooking me up to machines, doctors barking orders. They did scans, blood tests, the works. I lay there, helpless, staring at the ceiling tiles. My wife held my good hand, whispering it'd be okay. Hours felt like days. Finally, the doctor came in, a stern guy with kind eyes. He said, "You've had a stroke." An ischemic stroke, where a clot blocks blood flow to the brain. My heart sunk. At 35? How? They explained it was from blood clots that formed due to chronic issues, and the root cause? My sleep deprivation. Months of skimping on rest had spiked my blood pressure, caused inflammation in my arteries, and made my blood thicker and prone to clotting. I was in shock. All those ignored headaches and dizzy spells were red flags. The doctor said it straight. Your body was screaming for rest and you didn't listen. It hit like a ton of bricks. If I'd caught it earlier, maybe. But there's no use in what-ifs now. Sitting in that hospital bed, hooked up to IVs and monitors, the doctor broke it down for me in a way that I'll never forget. He said poor sleep messes with your whole system. Less than 5 hours a night? It ramps up your risk big time. Studies show it can triple your chances of a stroke compared to getting 7 hours. It raises heart rate and blood pressure and even leads to those sneaky clots. And it's not just short sleep. Too much, over 9 hours, hikes the risk too. But in my case, it was the deprivation doing the damage. He shared how sleep disturbances like insomnia or fragmented rest play a huge role in cardiovascular issues, including strokes. I nodded, but inside, I was reeling. All those nights I pushed through, thinking I was tough, it was slowly killing me. Comment risk below if you had no idea sleep could be this dangerous. Seriously, it might make you rethink your routine. While I was in the stroke ward, recovering from the initial hit, I met others going through the same hell. Their stories stuck with me like echoes of my own mistakes. There was Mike, a truck driver in his 40s, right next to me. He'd been hauling loads cross-country, surviving on catnaps and caffeine. Ignored his constant fatigue and headaches, just like me. One day on the road, his vision blurred and his arm went numb. He pulled over just in time before blacking out. Doctors linked it to sleep apnea, worsening his stroke risk. He regretted not getting checked sooner. Then there was Sarah, a mom of 3 in her late 30s across the hall. She juggled a full-time job and kids, skimping on sleep for years. Her stroke hit during a family dinner. Slurred speech, weakness on one side. She told me how insomnia plagued her post-kids, and it built up to this. We swapped tales during group sessions, bonding over the what-ifs. Another guy, an executive type, shared how his high-stress job led to restless legs and poor sleep, culminating in a mini-stroke. Hearing them made me feel less alone, but it drove home the point. We're all one bad habit away from disaster. These weren't just stories. They were warnings. Recovery wasn't a straight line. It was a roller coaster of pain, progress, and setbacks that tested every ounce of my will. I spent a week in the ICU, then moved to rehab. First up, physical therapy. Learning to move my left side again felt impossible. Simple things like gripping a cup or standing without support, gone. Therapists worked me through exercises, starting with bed-based ones, then progressing to walking with a cane. Speech therapy came next. My words were garbled at first, frustrating as heck. We'd practice sounds, sentences, and even singing to rebuild pathways in my brain. Occupational therapy focused on daily life, buttoning shirts, cooking, and bathing. It was humbling. Days I'd make gains, then nights of fatigue would set me back. Emotional stuff hit too. Depression crept in, wondering if I'd ever be normal again. My wife was my rock, visiting daily with the baby. Rehab lasted months, outpatient after discharge. I learned patience. It was hard. It was humbling. It was necessary. Small wins kept me going. First step without help, first clear sentence. But setbacks like muscle spasms or bad days reminded me healing takes time, weeks, months, sometimes years. That's when I realized the real turning point wasn't in the hospital. It was in rebuilding my life afterwards. I couldn't go back to night shifts. Doctors warned it could trigger another event. So I switched jobs to something daytime with better hours. Sleep became sacred. Lights out by 10 p.m., no screens, aiming for 7 to 8 hours solid. I set alarms for bed, not just wake up. Diet tweaks helped too. Less caffeine, more veggies to fight inflammation. Exercise, gentle walks at first, building to gym time. Therapy continued, but mentally, I shifted. Boundaries at work, saying no to extra stuff. Family time, priority 1. My wife and I tag-teamed parenting better. I even started journaling my sleep, tracking how it affected my mood and energy. It wasn't easy. Old habits die hard, but feeling stronger, clearer-headed, worth it. Sleep isn't a luxury, it's survival. Not optional, not negotiable, not worth risking. Looking back, this stroke was my brutal wake-up call. I almost lost everything because I ignored what my body needed most, rest. But I survived, and I'm stronger for it. If you're watching this grinding through life on too little sleep, please listen up. Get those 7 hours. Check your blood pressure. Don't dismiss headaches or dizziness. It could save you from what I went through. Type stress in the comments if you've ever felt that burnout creep in. Share this video with someone who needs the nudge. Your overworked friend, your tired parent. Don't wait for the collapse. Prioritize you. Thanks for listening to my story. Hit subscribe if these confessions resonate, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Sleep well.